Hello, and welcome to Maximum Rising. My name is Stephanie, and I am here to support you recovering from religious and emotional trauma. So, first of all, thank you so much, everybody, for in my Facebook and on my IG that wished me happy birthday. Thank you also, friends of mine, for the text messages on my birthday and even before and even some after. Thank you very much. Thank you for the love. So today we're going to talk about a mixture of things. We're going to talk about September and a bit of how it relates to the full moon and what's going on right now. In fact, we're going to start what's going on right now. Okay. So right now we have a lot of planets in retrograde. So we have Jupiter is in retrograde. Jupiter deals with expansion. And Jupiter, let's see where Jupiter is at. Jupiter, I believe, is in Aries. Yep, Jupiter is in Aries right now. In fact, let's see how many degrees it is. Jupiter is in 6 degrees of Aries, which is a retrograde. So when I say retrograde, it means it's going kind of clockwise to us here on Earth. Can the planets really turn themselves? No, but it's the way we're rotating that makes them look like they're going backwards, is how it was explained to me and how I understood it from the podcast that I watched. Saturn, which is in Aquarius, in fact, it is in 20 degrees of Aquarius, is also in retrograde. So when I say what's in retrograde and the constellation, zodiac sign, think of where it is in your house. So for me, Aquarius is in my moon sign. It was in my 3rd house at birth. It is no longer a part of that. Okay. Uranus has been in retrograde for a while. It is in 18 degrees of Taurus. So for me, that would be my 7th house of relationships. And depending on where Uranus is, it may even be my 6th house of illness and work. Neptune is also in retrograde, which I'm seeing that it's actually kind of a Neptune return for me because it's, well, actually, I am mistaken. It's in 24 degrees, but it's in Pisces. If it was 24 degrees in retrograde and Sag, yeah, that would definitely be my Neptune return. So Neptune's in retrograde. Okay, so let me back up. So Saturn deals with time and maturity. Okay, you have your first Saturn return between the ages of 27 and 30, which is why it has been known that that's when your maturity starts, between those ages because of Saturn. Uranus deals with everything coming down. It's a rebel. It wants to tear down structures and old belief systems, which is what's happening right now. Neptune is all about spirituality. Is what is it that you don't see? And it's best friends with Pisces. Because Pisces, they're both water type. Well, Pisces is a water sign, which we're going to capitalize on soon because we just had the new moon about 15 or so days ago in Virgo, which Virgo's opposition, Pisces. Okay. So Pisces is a very watery sign and it goes with the flow, but we'll get more into that later. Let's see. Pluto, death. Is known for death. Pluto is also in retrograde, 26 degrees of Capricorn. The North Node, also known as the True Node, just went direct today, 15 degrees of Taurus. And then Chiron is all about healing. It is in 15 degrees of Aries, and it is also in retrograde. So that is a lot of planets, okay? Now, Mercury is also going to be in retrograde, which will be in 8 degrees of Pisces. 8 degrees of, where is it right now? 8 degrees, possibly of Gemini, or maybe another sign by that time, actually. So I'm not quite sure where Mars will be, but it will be 8 degrees of whatever constellation, zodiac sign it is in, and it also will be going retrograde. And so Mercury deals with communication, not just communication as in speech, but in air, because it is very air sign, and it's right now it's in Gemini, and Gemini is also an air sign, and Gemini and Virgo are known for their communication skills. So Mercury absolutely loves both constellations / zodiac signs, but it also deals with devices. It also deals with traffic. Okay, when I started my local business, when I expanded, I should say, my local business, it was during Mercury retrograde and traffic was horrible. But it was just me letting the universe know at that time that I was ready. But anyway, so we've covered that. Right now, the moon is just about to leave Scorpio, which is my first house. Now, I do want to kind of talk about the daily moon a little bit. And the reason being is because on my birthday, during my massage, I had a huge gush of emotional release. And I was trying to figure out what was going on with me. Well, the moon was in Scorpio. So it was more in the 12th house, because Scorpio's majorly in my 12th house more than my first. But the reason why I connected more with the first house was because of the emotions that they said could come up. So when the moon is in your 12th house, it's good to kind of chill and stay home. And I'm talking about the daily moon. So when the daily moon is in your 12th house, it's really good to chill and be at home and maybe have a few friends or nobody over, and just self-care, just taking care of yourself. The 12th house deals with your enemies. It deals with solitude as well. And then the first house is you, how people see you, the inner part of you. So even though it was my birthday, and yeah, I did dress to impress, I looked good, I went out, I was seen, all these things, which is exactly what you should do when the moon is in your first house. It did, according to the book that I have watched, I'm going to read from in just a few minutes, it did say to watch out because, you know, if you are Virgo or Cancer, expect emotions. Let me silence that. I thought I had already done that. Okay, so that was really good information for me because it explained why all these emotions were coming forth. And it was a really good release. I had a lot blocked in my throat chakra. Funny enough, my massage therapist is a Scorpio. He's a Scorpio sun. So I had a lot of shit right here that needed to be released, a lot of shit in my shoulders and stuff. And so I have had people have emotional release during the massage before with me, and I have had it before as well. So it was almost like a revisiting of 2014 for me, because when my best friend died, I did not allow my left side to be massaged much. And inwardly, I knew that if I had people really go deep on my left side during that time, it would be like me letting him go. And I was not ready for that. But when I worked at La Vida, I will not say the location, but when I worked at La Vida, which was my first massage gig, I had someone massage me, and I did have an emotional release. But it was only a few, maybe 10, 15 minutes. This one was like 2 hours, like no joke, off and on for 2 hours. So just something to know and watch out for. If you want to keep up with the daily moon, I know some people asked about that on my YouTube channel. Yasmin Bolin is very, very great for that. This is the book that I always refer to. I do consultations as well. I call them readings. I'm starting to change it to consultation because it really is a consultation when I'm looking at your birth chart. If you're interested in that, shout out to me and let me know. Comment below, or if you're following me on Facebook or Instagram, let me know. Okay, so right now we are in the gibbous phase. I was actually born during the gibbous moon, so I can definitely relate to this phase. And this is the phase leading up to the full moon. Okay, so the full moon in Pisces will be on the 10th at the same time that Mercury starts to retrograde. All right, so before we get into that, let's talk about the gibbous phase. So the gibbous phase, I can say some of it just because it's very much me. It's about change. It's about how can I help or serve people around me. And so I can very much relate to that because, you know, I'm a Virgo sun, and the Virgo's in my 10th house of service. The 10th house is the house of career. So that's where I shine as a Virgo. I'm all about service, and it's also my love language. I just get to stay out of my head as I'm doing it. But I'm very much a Virgo as an organization, keeping things tip-top shape at work versus at home, though I am working on that. But gibbous is about 10.5 to 15 days after the new moon. Keywords is tweak, hone, and adjust. I'm always tweaking. I'm always saying, okay, how can I be better? Which is why massage is perfect for me, because I'm always, I love getting certified in new things. You know, this year I got certified in lymph drainage, and I get to discover that where I'm at. So it can be fun. And just like astrology, there is nothing old in astrology. There's always something new you can learn. So I really like that. Same thing with human design. So as the moon gets closer and closer to fullness, it's time for stamina. Don't give up. Don't allow your ego or fear to spoil your plans. Stay open to what life is teaching you. If you know you need to make some changes to achieve your goals, make them now. Gibbous means bulging. And that very nicely describes the phase of the moon when hopefully life feels bulging with potential. This is a great time to review your plans. There is a good chance that they could use some kind of tweak now. So for me, that meant putting things in retrospect. There was another phase in the moon, which is around the first quarter, which was looking at not only how can I be better, but just reflecting on things. And let's see, what else? This is a great time to review your plans. There is a good chance that they could use some kind of tweak. Spend some time going over your ideas and see what feels as though it's working and what feels like it might be about to run out of steam, which is going to go right with the full moon, and I will explain why later. This is the right time to build some kind of momentum, no matter what you're planning. But what if you've only just now come up with your plans? No problem. This is actually quite a good time to start new plans too. Okay? Now, the reason why I say this is going to go right along with the full moon in Pisces that will take place next week is because we right now live in a time of uncertainty. Okay? You may not know what's going to happen in your relationships. You may not know what's going to happen on your job. You may not know what's going to happen for you. Okay? Maybe you're freaking out because of that, or maybe, like me, you're learning to be comfortable in that uncertainty and face your childhood wounds from the times when you felt like you had to know. And so, you know, I feel like there's going to be some kind of completion or transition. And the reason why I say this is because by late September and October, and definitely in December, you would definitely come to a conclusion. Maybe right now you know the answer, but you're hoping you're going to be wrong. Or maybe, you know, you're trying to give something a chance. That's where I'm at right now. You're learning to forgive yourself. You're learning to just trust the process and just see without judgment. So you're in a place where I have no freaking clue what's going on, but I'm just going to trust the process. But there is a major transition. That means September is the 9th month, right? I'm in my 9th personal year right now, as I know some of you are. So, and what that means, 9th personal year. So, at birth, you have a life path number. Mine was 5. So mine was all about freedom, which goes along with my birth chart because my second house is Sagittarius. And if you know Sagittarians, they're all about freedom. And I am very much about that, even when I'm in a partnership. So, for me, that means, hold on one second. So for me, that means just flow, you know, don't worry, just be the water, you know, just flow. But, I was going to make another statement. Okay, so Sagittarius. So Sagittarius is all about freedom. So freedom for me meant letting go of fear, which the fear was not even mine. It was 17 generations of fear from my dad's side. So that's what freedom meant to me. Let go of the fear, stop playing small, and be willing to be seen. All right. So now that after that, every year after that, if you add up the month of your birth to your birthday to the year you're in, you get to know what your personal year is. So this year is my 9th personal year. And so there's been a lot of transitions. And so if you're also in your 9th personal year, you may relate more to September than anybody else, just because there's transitions. There is a lot of things that's going to be leaving your life, which brings us to the full moon. The full moon is all about letting go. And if you don't let go this full moon, by the end of the year, you will. There is something that I am hanging on to because I'm very loyal, and I'm loyal to a fault, and I am loyal to a fault, but I know who to be loyal to. That's the difference. But anyway, I am a woman of my word, and when I tell a client of mine something, I keep it. So that's the reason why I have not made a final decision on something yet, and in December I will, ironically enough. Okay, so Pisces. So Pisces is kind of a lost sign. The reason why I say this is because it doesn't really have a plan, a destination, which goes along with the energy right now. Pisces don't really plan. And I mean, when I say Pisces, if you're saying, well, I'm a Pisces, but I plan, well, then that means you have a lot of planets and other signs. Maybe you have a lot of planets in Virgo. Maybe you have a lot of planets in Gemini. Maybe you have a lot of planets in Taurus, because all 3 of them are known to plan. But if you do not plan, you know, look in areas of your life where you don't plan, right? So Pisces, if you are a Pisces moon, which like my mom's a Pisces moon, a lot of people in my family are Pisces moons. And if you're ascendant, which means the moon will not be in your first house, something to kind of think about. For me, Pisces is in my 4th house of, I believe that's siblings. It really is more relevant to when I was born, because before I was born, I did lose a sibling, which was technically it was me that died, but then I was reincarnated as Stephanie because I wanted to come back and I wanted to make a difference. So, sorry guys. Anyway, so Pisces is just going with the flow, and as I stated earlier, Neptune is retrograde in Pisces. So Pisces is water. It just flows. There's no planning. It really doesn't know what it wants. It just kind of goes with the flow. It's more of go with the flow than Cancer is. It's more of go with the flow than Scorpio is. It's the most, and the reason why I say that is because Scorpio is a fixed sign, and Cancer, I believe, is a cardinal sign. But Pisces is very flexible. It's very fluid. It's mutable, just like Virgo. So when it comes to that, and that's kind of like me, I'm noticing when it comes to being a Virgo at my job, I'm very flexible. I kind of go with the flow. But when it comes to my life, it's a little bit different. The only thing that's not is that I do like change. Scorpios, they're not keen on change. But anyway, back to Pisces. So Pisces likes change also. Goes with the flow. Very empathic. Takes on everybody's shit. And I mean, literally will take on your shit. Which it should not. Cancer is like that too. But the reason why Pisces is like that is because, like Cancer, Pisces, they think that if I take it on, I'm helping you. But you're not. You're taking on shit that's not yours, right? So instead of taking on shit that's not yours, give it to the water, right? Great time to do some kind of meditation near water, by the way. Great time to do some self-reflection. Great time to see where you are in life and see, okay, do I want to stay here? Allow things to happen. Maybe more people will leave your life. Maybe more situations will leave your life. Or maybe people will actually stay and just accept you for who you are. Either way, do not stop being who you are or who you are becoming. If you're like me and you're like, you know what, I'm kind of becoming a person I no longer recognize, I can definitely understand that. I'm there too. And I'm just getting to know me all over again. I mean, I'm older now, and even though I don't look it, but trust me, I feel it. I'm learning to really do more self-care, stretch more, drink way more water than I used to, and just allow my body to be like Pisces, to be fluid. So that way when I'm massaging, I can do so without aches and pains. So those are some things to consider. Let's see what she talks about. So the full moon, especially good for Taurians, and we're talking about the full moon in Pisces, Cancerians, Virgos, Scorpios, Capricorns, and Pisceans, of course, but it's more challenging for everyone else. The energy is nostalgic and a little bit yearning. So 5 questions. This is going to be a journal prompt. 1. Have I been dreamy to the point of not getting enough done and making silly errors? One thing I will notice about a Pisces, even the Pisces rising, because that's my partner, they have this dreamy look. Okay, that's soul water. Pisces is all about your dreams and things that you want to do also, okay? So have you or have I been dreamy to the point of not getting enough done and making silly errors? I can honestly answer that, no, I have not been. I have been more reflecting and taking care of myself versus my dreams, because I know my dreams are coming into fruition. So I no longer go with, oh, I'm going to write them down, I'm going to do this, and I don't do that anymore. I just know that they're going to come, and if they come differently, I'm okay with that. Second question, have I been overly sensitive and too easily hurt? Have I been overly sensitive? Not in the way that she's saying. I am asensitive. I do feel people's stuff, but overly sensitive as in really weepy, not really, with the exception of on my birthday, but that was a release, so that's the difference. So I've been overly sensitive and too easily hurt. No for me. Again, more reflection, more of letting go, and more of a purification time for me. So that's another thing you can write down. The third question, have I been acting like a martyr? To me, that means, have you been acting like a victim? Because Pisces can take the victim role. Well, this happened to me, and they did this, and they did that. What if you could turn that around and see the lesson, see the medicine, as we would say in the native culture? What is the medicine in that for you? Have I been acting like a martyr, which is the same as a victim, or too easily led? Do you allow people to lead you around by the nose? Do you just do things for people? Pisces can be a people pleaser. So have you been doing a lot of that? Have you been trying to please people just to keep the peace when really when you're a people pleaser, you're also trying to control, because you're thinking, well, if I do this, then I'll get something in return. And I can testify to that because I used to be a people pleaser. And so instead of doing that, stand for you, stand for yourself, whatever that means for you. 4, have I been meditating every day? And if not, why not? It is great for Pisces to meditate so that way they can let go of everybody else's shit and understand what's theirs and what's not. What I've been doing a lot lately is calling my own energy back to me. And how do I do that? Well, I say I call my energy back to me now, and I say it 3 times. I can either say it in my head or I can say it out loud like I just did. And another thing I've been doing, if you're in the massage industry or hairdressing industry or something that you're touching people, cut cords at the end. I'm beginning to do that, either at the end of the session or at the end of, after you finish cutting their hair, whatever. Cut cords with them, cut and burn cords with them. That way you're bringing your energy back to you. Okay. So, have I been meditating every day? And if not, why not? I meditate every day. I have to. So that way I can be centered. I'm not so airy like I was with it. And just be aware. Meditation is great, but just be aware if you're doing it to escape. Be aware of that. And maybe ask yourself why. If you're meditating, if the answer to your question is, yeah, I meditate, great. But if you're doing it to escape, as an escape mechanism, ask yourself why. That's going to be a journal prompt for those of us that do meditate. Okay, and the last one, have I been in touch with my intuitive side? Because yes, Pisces are very intuitive. Have I been in touch with my intuitive side? Your intuition, your gut. Following my dreams and hunches. Hunches come from your gut for us generators. Or just your body in general letting you know. Like if your body's leaning away from someone or something, your body's trying to tell you to leave. But if you're leaning forward, then your body's saying, hey, it's good. So have I been in touch with my intuitive side? Following my dreams and hunches. Another journal prompt. As for me, I have been in touch with my intuitive side even more, even asking my gut how it feels about certain things. And sometimes you'll get a neutral answer. And that's where I'm at with a situation right now. I'm in a neutral, my body's neutral about it. So that tells me just wait and see what happens. It's 50% that it's a good thing and 50% that maybe it's not so good. But you don't know. To experience. Message. This is a super mystical moon. Connect with your inner psychic. So there's going to be a lot of psychic abilities that may come through. Maybe things that you already know, but then it will really like kind of wake you up and shake you. Find a balance between your inner peace versus your duties. So going within and allowing yourself, maybe putting things into perspective, maybe just feeling what you need to feel. Because, you know, Pisces, yes, they are sensitive and they're all about feeling. So you may get that this full moon. There may be some emotions that comes up. And that's okay. That is totally fine. There's a full moon forgiveness ritual. I would just say forgive yourself. If you're still into the burning things, if that's how you process, write things you're forgiving yourself for and burn it. I highly, highly recommend Moonology Diary if you don't have it already, because she has chants in here that you can go to her site, moonology.com. She also has, and when I say she, I'm talking about Yasmin Boland. She also has questions to ask yourself at the full moon in the diary. And by the way, the music that's playing right now is Native American music. I do not own the rights to this music, but I absolutely love it. I actually used to do yoga to it, and I used to meditate to it. We may be actually doing a meditation in a few minutes. Okay. So what else do you need to know? Well, Mercury is going to be in retrograde, so let's get into that. Watch your communication. Some things may come through, whether it be through you or what a person's speaking, that may come across wrong. And so before you act on emotion, because the full moon may be very emotional for you, take a step back and feel your emotions first. Instead of making a decision from emotion, feel what you're feeling, whatever vibration you're in. If it's low, that's fine. If it's high, that's fine. After you feel what you need to feel, then regroup and ask that person what they meant by that. Stay detached from your emotion. I know that's going to be super hard because the full moon is going to draw out shit out of you. And the reason why I'm strongly advising that is because that's usually when people make mistakes, when they're emotional. And they're speaking from an emotional place instead of speaking from a place of openness. So just allow yourself to detach from that emotion first. And then breathe. Allow yourself to feel. And then ask that person what they meant. Maybe text and not send it. So that way you can look at it again in the morning and see, oh, should I have sent that? If you're doing email, type an email. If you're feeling emotional, how you feel, that way you get it out. But just save it in drafts. Then the next day, read it again. See if you feel like you should send that. And you're like, oh, God, I'm glad I didn't send it. Then good, you get to retype that email. Okay? Write how you feel. That's very great. Talk to somebody how you feel if you're in your emotions. Someone that's outside of it, if you feel comfortable doing that. And then they can tell you, you know, I think this is coming from an emotional place. Maybe you don't see that, but some people can see what we can't see. Okay? Okay, so let's end this in a meditation. Something that you can always come back to, especially since the full moon is coming and there's going to be a lot going on. So let's just take in a deep breath. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to do 4 more rounds. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Relaxing your jaw, your shoulders, the muscles in your head. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Relaxing the muscles in your legs, filling into your heart space, relaxing your abdomen, your back. Last round, inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relaxing your arms, your feet, your hands. Imagine yourself detaching from everybody else's energy. I always imagine like I'm in a bubble and there's bubbles attached to me. So I just bring my bubble in and I literally push those bubbles away. Or if you need to cut cords right now, it's a good time to do that. Or whatever you feel you need to do in this moment. Feel free to also do this again during the full moon. And just sit in silence. Just focus on your breath and the music in the background. If your mind wanders, that's okay. You can always bring your hand back to your heart and refocus. And it's okay to acknowledge what came up. And then let it go as you exhale. Deep inhale. Exhale, wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers. Bring your energy back to yourself, back to your body. Sit by thinking. Now say out loud, I call my energy back to me now. Feel into your feet, feel into your hands. Feel a separation between you and everything in that room that you're in. I call my energy back to me now. Feel into your body. Know that you are in a safe space and a safe place. And it is safe to be with you. I call my energy back to me now. Blink your eyes open. Welcome back. Feel free to fast forward to this anytime you need it. Okay? Stay, hang in there during the full moon. Please know that you are loved. You are so loved. The universe loves you. The universe will always be there for you. If you're not ready to make a decision and you're staying in limbo, that is okay. Wherever you are right now is perfect. Doesn't mean it's not flawed, but it is perfect. You are perfect. You are perfect just the way that you are. I know for some of us, it's very hard to fathom that, and that is okay. It was hard for me to fathom that too. So you are loved. I love you. Please like, share, and subscribe. Spread this to all your family, friends that's into astrology or into religious and emotional recovery, whatever. Just spread this. Spread this as many people as you can. Again, like, subscribe, and share. And remember to breathe this full moon.